innovation. Innovation being the fuel of the knowledge economy, and this is to be done through research and development, through technology transfer, and also fostering new business enterprises or improving existing enterprises. And although different, the obvious impact of all of this is a challenge that faces all sectors of higher education: community colleges, the 4 institutions, and the research institutions. And to be able to develop innovation and to do so efficiently, colleges and universities today will need to do both what they do now differently and also continue to do different things. And the public calls for higher education to innovate it are often followed by one of 2 commentaries regarding our scorecard in the area of innovation. On the one hand, there is the argument that innovation is a hallmark of the nation's colleges and universities. There are advances in science where we push the frontiers of knowledge. We introduce new programs and new pedagogies, and we have novel efforts to address regional, national, and global challenges. Then there's this second push. There is heightened scrutiny that accompanies today's emphasis on accountability. And this heightened scrutiny accompanying today's emphasis on accountability sometimes decreases the incentive to abandon a somewhat successful effort and take risks with an untested approach. I see my colleague, Dr. Michael Hinojosa, here, and he has this broad vision of causing the Dallas Independent School District to be rated as the leading urban public school district by the year of 2010. He's already facing the challenge of causing elements in his organization to abandon what they consider successful efforts and to take risks with some untested approaches. I believe he would agree with me on that. And while accountability can be said to help foster certain types of innovation, our current accountability metrics, because of their focus and their assumptions, sometimes elevates some issues and downplays other issues that campuses and other stakeholders feel are important. Thirdly, competition is driving much of what institutions do as they strive for new ways to differentiate themselves from their competitors and to secure even scarcer resources. Many colleges and many universities compete not only with their long-time foes, often in the same region, and those with similar missions, but also we have new rivals today for profit providers, geographically distant institutions, both for profit, both for profit and traditional, offering online education. And there's a growing number of international universities that vie for students and faculty, as well as private research dollars. So the question can be asked, why innovate? Well, the very term innovation creates mixed reactions on college and university campuses. For some critics of innovation, it is a code word for the corporatization of the academy. It means cutting costs by cutting staff and outsourcing services. It is, in the view of some, the increased reliance on part-time faculty and the development of new curricula and degree programs to generate revenue rather than to fulfill intellectual purposes. Innovation, in the views of some, becomes a new and additional time requirement and energy consumer that will be demanded of everyone without an increase in resources, time, or reward. And we who are administrators know that faculty in particular worry that innovation for them means doing more with less. For others, however, innovation means just the opposite. It is about putting into practice those good ideas that advance institutional mission regardless of the cost. It is a term given to allow faculty more time to do faculty work through creative innovation. Again, why should we innovate? Let me share just 3 or 4 observations. Innovation inevitably will require change. But in my view, not the change that burdens the institution or pushes faculty away from their essential work and their unique contributions if innovation is approached appropriately. Innovation is change. Change that ushers in excellence, which benefits the institution overall and also allows for the expansion of existing efforts that produce positive results. In other words, when innovation is appropriately approached, it allows or causes the institution to maximize what it does best to meet strategic initiatives, whether those would be improved student learning, progressive research, expanded community service, or even financial stability. And thirdly, innovation, in my view, frees the institution and its people to engage in creative experimentation, new ideas. It rewards new practices rather than penalize failures. Unfortunately, however, typically the culture, the structure, and the traditional reward systems in higher education do just the opposite. Well, I tend to offer this innovation challenge to my colleagues when this subject is discussed in the form of 4 motivations to innovate. The first motivation being innovation is required, in my view, in order to avert a current or an impending crisis. We, as community colleges in Texas, are being challenged on every hand to be more accountable. That comes from the governor and a number of other sources. And clearly, if you're going to be more accountable, you have to have your eyes open for innovative ways to do that. You see, financial burdens, in my opinion, create urgency for innovation. We had the unfortunate experience of having the health benefits for the entire community college system in Texas vetoed by the governor. That veto amounted to $154 million. And the element of that for our district was almost $16 million. There was some urgency for innovation as we sought to address that matter. And fortunately, in that instance, the innovative actions did work. Secondly, when we engage in innovation, there is the opportunity to benefit from new methods of doing business. But you see, innovation is about getting good ideas from other people and applying them to your own setting. In the Dallas district, we're very fortunate that there is one of our community colleges, Richland College, that now has the distinction of being a Baldrige Award winner. And because they have attained that status, they are sharing with us and others good ideas about how to benefit from new methods of doing business. That is the essence of benchmarking. And I believe that we need